Hi, it's Ileana. So today I'm going to talk about finding creativity and inspiration coming from the Akashic records. So by working in the Akashic records, it can and it does activate past life remembrances of who we have been, connecting us to the various forms of who we are energetically, especially with past life selves. This can be in Egypt, this can be in Lemuria, this can be in Atlantis, this can be in Tibet, anywhere on Earth, or as other galactic beings that we have ever been in creation. Literally, the Akashic records hold all of our life experiences, what we've experienced before, what we are experiencing now, and even information about our future lifetimes. All of that is stored in the Akasha, which is the energy of all life creation, and information of our combined experiences as living beings that we are. We are pure energy, we are crystalline, we are diamond, and anything we experience or have experienced, it goes into the Akashic records of our soul history, planetary histories, soul histories, any experiences we've had. It's all in the Akashic records. That includes abilities, that includes creative endeavors, ideas, inspiration. All of it is connected to energetic creativity and the imagination. So this allows us to talk to our past life selves, as they literally can interact and visit with us and guide us in wisdom, which can have profound impact for us with meaningful suggestions for how to creatively figure things out and accomplish something important within our lives. The Akashic records can also help us as well. The Akashic records can also help us to connect with our highest aspects of our creativity, inspiration, imagination, and thinking outside the box to fit the puzzle pieces together for our creative endeavors. And I've been working in the Akashic records for the last 2 months, I would say, very actively. Some of the things is to try to figure out my own life path, to figure out history from Atlantis, Lemuria, and recently to figure out things on a very creative, spiritual, artistic perspective of working with shamanic displays, of working with crystals, and working with rebalancing the energies in my meditation room and connecting to somebody special from my past life, which I'm going to talk about right now. And when I see the Akashic records, it can appear as energy, it can appear as a living library. I can see my own ideas of what I've done in the past from past lives. I can literally see my past lives of myself, who they were, male and female, and they start talking to me and interacting to me. I am there in the records and they are there with me. I'm talking to my past life self who's there with me. And I see the records as living libraries, like physical places, because these records can create anything for you physically to experience and see what's part of your life, whatever lifetimes you've had or your present life. I've seen my own books of records, more than one. I've seen my own book of life. I've seen creative things I've done in the past as people from Atlantis, as a Lemurian goddess, as my past life self as a mermaid. I've met dragons who were my guardians in the Akashic records. I've seen the most beautiful things that I could have and still can in the Akashic records, and just experienced profound change because the Akashic records have helped me to find my inspiration, my creativity, and my imagination to open me up to further possibilities of expanding my soul frequencies. And I've recently been changing up my shamanic altars. I am a trained Native American shaman, and I've been working with soul expression. So shamanic altars can share expression of soul creation that is connected to nature, where the altars can have crystals, carvings of eagles, various animals, shells, and creative items that bring us together with the spiritual world. The altars can also have woven tapestries, feathers, and anything else that connects you to nature and to your soul path of creativity and inspiration. So I've been working with my shamanic altars, just rebalancing energies, frequencies from what comes in from the Akashic records. And the Akashic records guided me to add what I call little dragon shells to the various river rocks and beach rocks that I had been collecting for several years to balance organic nature creation. And the reason why I call these white shells dragon shells is because they remind me of dragon claws, and they remind me of dragon energy, and they're imbued with that dragon energy. And that feels very special and magical to me. And I love all expression of nature, both crystalline from rocks, crystals, and shells. So I work with both, and I love feathers. I really love different feathers. Those are all feathers that I found on my travels. They're things that I've found on the ground from creation in nature, from the beautiful animals and birds that inhabit our beautiful earth. And birds shed feathers, and they're left behind on the ground. So if you're feeling connected to any bird feathers, crystals, rocks, shells, feel free to pick them up and take them with you home, because you can work with them in your own personal altars of what feels right to you on the soul level. So I was creatively guided from the Akashic records to just create a more synergistic balance in my altars, to clean things up, to simplify, and to create simplicity. So to continue to work with crystals, to continue to work with eagle energy, with turquoise crystals, to work with different rocks, and to just simplify these altars and how this looks like. That was the guidance I was given from my Akashic records, to do this, to just move things around and simplify, because it will rebalance the energy fields and just make things more lighter energetically in my meditation crystal room, and allow me to have lighter frequency to work with these altars. So that's the guidance I was given recently from Akashic records, from my own Akashic records. And I'm going to talk a bit about nature's bounty and crystal healing. Here we have a black obsidian skull, a sodalite crystal skull, an aventurine turtle, and 2 clear quartz obelisks as one of my newer altars. And also a beautiful cloth that my grandmother had created herself. She hand stitched that, so it's very unique. So black obsidian and sodalite crystal skulls with the aventurine turtle, as well as the clear quartz obelisks. They're in the background to create positive energies for healing and manifestation work. This is nature's bounty with river rocks and onyx bead protection display in a handmade bowl as well. I was working with reconfiguring the displays, and for some reason the Akashic record said, go pick up the handmade bowl. This is a purple bowl that I had made from clay myself on the potter's wheel years ago, about 20-30 years ago when I was in high school. And I had also stained it and fired it in a kiln with purple paint stain and fired it off in a kiln. So it's handmade by me. And I go on many different walks and adventures by rivers, by beaches, oceans, and I pick up little different river rocks that call to me in nature, from nature's bounty. Literally, things call to me. What I'm connected to energetically, different little crystalline rocks, I pick them up along the way. And I was also guided by the Akashic records to create a little onyx, kind of a circle, and to put these little river rocks in a circle and to photograph this, as this creates energetic balance and grounding. And to put this on one of my bookcases to have a bit of crystal healing energy balancing in the background. So that's what I did. And this is standing next to the crystal skulls because it was rebalancing the energy and frequency of my different altars. And this is not like huge altars or anything. This is spur of the moment, just the frequency and the Akashic records guiding me to free flow and free create something that feels right and rearrange things. And I was just like free flow guidance. I was not actively planning anything to do anything in the meditation crystal room. I just came in and I thought, I feel like change. Something needs to change. Something needs to move. I didn't know what. And I asked the Akashic records, can you show me guidance? What needs to change and move with the flow of the energy? And they said the crystal skulls, and you need to pick up the bowl with the little river rocks inside, ocean rocks, and just create a little guided nest for them. And I said, what do you mean by a nest? A circle. The rainbow bridge circle. The circle of life. And I got the words, use onyx beads to do this. I said, okay, sure, I could do that. And I did it. And I'm like, whoa, the circle of life. Eternal energy, infinite creation, infinite energy supply, energetic balance of frequency and soul, physicality, healing. That's what I got from that circle of life. Infinity, connection to the universe, connection to all living life force, energetically, vibrationally, frequency-wise, and physically. Unification of the soul, mind, and the body as a whole. Holistic healing. That's what I got from this. And I'm like, great. You have your sodalite crystal skull, you have your obsidian crystal skull, you have your aventurine turtle, and you have the large rainbow type clear quartz obelisks in the background. It's all synergistically working for crystal healing and manifestation. And I thanked the new altars and thanked the Akashic records for this guidance. And then a couple of days later, something interesting came up. I went back into the Akashic records and I was shown Tibetan prayer stupas for healing and creating balance in the world. I was literally being shown Tibetan stupas and pagodas. And I was shown a Tibetan monk who is apparently a past life self of me. And he said that I needed to work with stupas again to create more balance and healing in the world. So the Tibetan prayer stupas are set up to create balance and harmony in the world, where through creating your unique prayers, you are manifesting a healing for yourself and the world at a level of thought consciousness that transcends everything in space and time on the soul field of all universal vibration, sending goodwill out to the planet and the universe, and positively creating, manifesting good change with good frequency. On the top of the prayer stupa, there are onyx and hematite beads to anchor in the energies of healing, manifestation, and protection. So I basically met my past life self as the male Tibetan monk who literally was a Tibetan monk. And he worked with building stupas, or pagodas as they're called. And he would put prayer beads on top of them to pray for people's souls on life journeys. He would pray for them to have safe passage on their travels. And so he asked me, I have some stupas in my meditation room. He asked me to work with onyx beads and hematite beads to create these prayer beads to put on the stupas and pray for the world, to create positive change in the world. So that's what I've been working on, doing this. And I ordered the onyx and hematite beads, not quite knowing how any of this would turn out. His name is Shaolin, and he said, don't worry, I'm showing you visually how this will look, and it'll turn out exactly as I'm showing you. And I said, okay, I'll try this, because he had created stupas. And he said, I did it with beads, and I prayed for the world and people, for the world to become better energetically, to be balanced. And I've always been fascinated by stupas and pagodas, so I did do it. And it turned out beautifully. His wisdom and guidance, what he said to me and showed me, how he created stupas with prayer beads, it turned out exactly like that. Like beautiful. And now I can do these prayers in my meditation room with these stupas. These ones I've had for like 20 years, literally. Now I understand why I've been drawn to stupas, because I had been a Tibetan monk once upon a time. Remembering past lives as a Lemurian goddess and a Tibetan monk through the Akashic records. The expression of the Lemurian language has a lyrical sound frequency that is light and air in its melodious healing frequency filled with crystalline essence. As the language was showing its creative frequency, it was revealing that there had been a past life as a Lemurian goddess named Chandra, who had created healing frequencies with the Lemurian language of light and elemental air. Another lifetime was shown where there was a stupa where a Tibetan monk would hang tiger eye prayer beads for those whose life passage was traveling between the earth and the stars to anchor their life force energies to have safe travels on their various journeys among both heaven and earth. The stupa was located in the mountains of Nepal. The older Tibetan monks, who are also called lamas, came to Nepal through the Himalayas on their own. Younger lamas and the Tibetan children were sent by their parents separately, accompanied by an adult. So Shaolin, the Tibetan monk, who is my past life self, showed me literally how he would build these stupas with prayer beads in the Nepal mountains. And the Lemurian goddess, who is another past life self of mine, showed me how to work with the Lemurian healing language. And this is what this language looks like, with the purples, the golds, the blues, these frequencies of the eternal life star, the life path balance of the stars. This is what she was showing me. And this was the first image that Shaolin showed me of a prayer stupa with prayer beads, tiger eye prayer beads on top. And the Lemurian goddess said, just create Lemurian prayers. Just work with the Lemurian language for healing, prayers, and manifestation. So I did that. And the eternal life core of planets and planetoids and bodies, the core of all life essence, was also shown to me in the Lemurian language. So that's what that image of what it looks like, an egg, but that's a life core frequency with Lemurian language. And again, I was shown images of these bell-like prayer stupas that Tibetan monks have built in Nepal and Tibet. centuries ago, and still to this day they build them and pray there for people's health, well-being, and safety of souls. So these things are still there, these prayer stupas, and monks work with them, Tibetan monks. And I was shown the rite of passage for a monk from young adulthood into adult, how monks work with each other and pass knowledge to each other, Tibetan monks and Nepal monks. That was shown for my past life self. And I was shown this prayer stupa that I had built in Nepal. Shaolin, the Tibetan monk, had built. I'm saying I had built it because he is me and I am him, and we are one. We are one in unity and creation. And this is another image of what a stupa can look like, the prayer stupas. They can also be made out of metal, rocks, crystals, monuments. So they're quite beautiful. And some people have golden stupas in their homes. These stupas that you can put prayer beads on. And these prayer beads can be of different crystal materials, different symbols, whatever has meaning and significance to you that helps you to balance your energies and frequencies for healing, prayer, manifestation, and protection. So I wanted to share these beautiful experiences that I've had with Shaolin, the Tibetan monk from Nepal, and Chandra, the Lemurian goddess from my Lemuria past life self, and what they've recently been teaching me in soul wisdom, healing, protection, and manifestation for healing the world, for healing the self, for connecting better with the I am, what we are as souls and energies, frequencies, and physicalities in our world. Thank you so much. Blessings.